my dear students, how are you? I hope all are good. Today let me start SST chapter number 22, the executive, its role. We will talk about, first of all, we will talk about the president, who Rashtrapati. The president is the chief of the nation. Okay? He, she represent the country. All the functions of the central government are carried on under his name. He is the first citizen of the nation. The president is the supreme commander of the defense force of the nation and protector of the constitution. He works above politics and occupies a place of dignity and honor. He is not answerable to any court for the exercise of the powers of his office. The president of India is also called the Rashtrapati. The power of the president of India can be categorized as the powers of the administrative and executive power, the legislative powers, the judicial powers, the financial and other power, and the emergency power. Okay, administrative and executive powers. The executive power of the union vests in the president and is enjoyed by him either directly or through official subordinate to him. He is the supreme commander of the armed forces. He appoints the prime minister and on his advice the other ministers, the judges of the Supreme Court, the High Court, ambassadors to foreign countries. The governors of the state chairman and other members of the Union Public Service Commission are all appointed by him. So the president also appoints the chief election commissioner and members of the election commission. All agreements with foreign countries are made in his name. Legislative powers. A bill passed by both the houses of the parliament are presented before the president for his approval. If he is not satisfied, he can return the bill after giving his suggestion to the parliament. So, however, it is for the parliament to accept the suggestion and amend the bill or just pass it. So, when it goes to the president for second time, it is obligatory on the part of the president to give his approval. ठीक है, अप्रूवल के लिए जाता है प्रेसिडेंट के पास ये बिल. द पार्लियामेंट नीड्स टू बीइंग summoned by the president on the advice of the prime minister, so the president can dissolve the parliament. If the parliament is no session and need arises, the president can on his own make law which become effective with immediate effective. Such law are called ordinances. However, the ordinance issued in such a manner has to be placed before the parliament for approval. So, the president has power to nominate 12 members to the Rajya Sabha. Judicial powers. The president has the power to reduce a punishment or grant a pardon on a mercy petition to any person who has been awarded death sentence by any court in the country. Financial power. All money bills are presented in the Lok Sabha with the permission of the president. Emergency power. The President of India has been given vast power to counter any emergency. In case of emergency, the President can suspend even the fundamental rights guaranteed to every citizen under the Constitution except right to live. An emergency may be declared under any of the following circumstances. Emergency arising out of war or attack from other nations or internal arching. ठीक है, emergency due to the failure of the constitutional machinery. Financial emergency. Emergency has so far been imposed on 3 occasions in our country. For the first time, it was declared in 1962 when China attacked India. Okay, the emergency continued for 3 years. 3 सालों तक रही थी emergency. The second time emergency was declared when we fought a war with Pakistan in 1971. India last emergency was declared in June 1975 when the nation was faced with a grave danger to national security. It was lifted in 1977. Rashtrapati Bhavan. How the president exercises powers. The president exercises these powers only on the advice of the prime minister and the council of his ministers. He has to accept the advice. Terms. The president is elected for a period of 5 years. 5 साल के लिए चुना जाता है राष्ट्रपति. The same person can contest election at the expiry of his term of office The president is entitled to a monthly salary and various other allowances. He is provided free accommodation at the Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi. After retirement, a president is entitled to pension and some expenses for maintaining secretarial staff. In the constitution, there is a provision of removing the president. He can be impeached if he is found guilty of violating the constitution. So far, no such situation has arisen in India. Election of the president. For being elected a president, the following criteria have been fixed by the constitution. He must be a citizen of India. He must be of 35 years of age. He must be eligible for contesting as a member of the Lok Sabha. He must not be holding any office of profit under government agency. The president is not directly elected by the people, but he is elected by the members of the Lok Sabha, the Rajya Sabha and legislative assemblies of the states. Only the elected members of the assemblies have the right to vote in this. President of India. अब यहाँ पे पूरा चार्ट दिया गया है ना, कौन कौन प्रेसिडेंट बना और कौन कब से कब तक बना. डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद 1884 टू 1963, जनवरी 1950 से लेके मई 1962 तक. डॉक्टर सर्वपल्ली राधाकृष्ण मई 1962 से लेके मई 1967 तक. डॉक्टर जाकिर हुसैन मई 1967 से लेके मई 1969 तक. वराहगिरि वेंकटगिरी मई 1969 से लेके जुलाई 1969 एक्टिंग तक. जस्टिस मोहम्मद हिदायतुल्लाह जुलाई 1969 से अगस्त 1969. वराहगिरि वेंकटगिरी अगस्त 1969 से अगस्त 1974. ओके, एंड नेक्स्ट इज फखरुद्दीन अली अहमद अगस्त 1974 से लेके 1977 तक. बीडी जट्टी फरवरी 1977 से लेके 1977 जुलाई तक. नीलम संजीवा रेड्डी 1977 से लेके 1982 तक. ज्ञानी जेल सिंह जुलाई 1982 से लेके जुलाई 1987 तक. आर वेंकटरामन जुलाई 1987 से लेके जुलाई 1992 तक. डॉक्टर शंकर दयाल शर्मा जुलाई 1992 से जुलाई 1997 तक. के आर नारायणन 1907 से लेके 2002. एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम 2002 टू 2007. प्रतिभा पाटिल 2007 टू 2012. प्रणब मुखर्जी 2012 to 2017, रामनाथ कोविंद 17 to 22 एंड मिसेस द्रौपदी मुर्मू 22 से टिल डेट, मतलब अभी भी वो है राष्ट्रपति. वाइस प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया. In our constitution there is a provision for the office of a vice president. He presides over the meetings of the Rajya Sabha as its chairman. In the absence of the president, he carries on the functions of the president. So the vice president is elected for a period of 5 years by the members of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. He can be removed from office if the Rajya Sabha passes a resolution to this effect and the Lok Sabha agrees to. No vice president has been removed so far through this process. A citizen of India who is eligible for being a member of the Rajya Sabha is qualified for election to this post. Appointment of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is appointed by the President, but he is not free to appoint anyone to this office. Before appointing any person as the Prime Minister, the President ensures that the person enjoys the support of the majority of the members of Lok Sabha. He must be a member of the Parliament. If the leader of the largest party in the Lok Sabha is neither a member of the Lok Sabha nor Rajya Sabha, he can still be appointed as the Prime Minister. In such a case, the Prime Minister would have to get himself elected as member of the Parliament. Within 6 months, if he cannot get himself elected, he cannot continue as a Prime Minister. Prime Minister of India, despite all the powers vested in him, cannot act as a dictator. He has to take into account the sentiments of the members of his party because he needs their support in running of government. They have the right to discuss matters with an open mind. The final decision is taken by the Prime Minister. Every year on 15th August, the Prime Minister of India addresses the nation from the Red Fort in Delhi. So appointment of minister in cabinet. On the advice of the Prime Minister, ministers are appointed by the President. A minister like the Prime Minister must be member of the Parliament. So here are the list, name and tenure. Categories of minister. There are three kinds of minister. तीन तरह के मंत्री होते हैं. Cabinet मंत्री, they hold independent charge of ministers. They are the most influential, mature and experienced member of the party. They constitute the cabinet of the Prime Minister. Ministers of state, they attend meeting of the cabinet when invited for policy discussions. They may hold charge of their ministries independently. Deputy minister, they assist the ministers in their respective departments. Each minister is assigned one or more department under his charge. This is usually referred to as the portfolio. He is accountable to the working of the ministry assigned to him. Council of Minister and the Cabinet. The Council of Minister consists of all three categories of ministers. The Cabinet, however, includes only the first category. A significant decision concerning the government at the center are taken by the Cabinet. These decisions are abided by all the three categories of ministers. The Prime Minister is the Chief of Council of Ministers and also the Cabinet. All the ministers are expected to work in close cooperation as a term member under the leadership of the Prime Minister. In case of resignation or death of Prime Minister, the entire Council of Ministers is dissolved. Supreme position of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the most powerful official under the Constitution of India. सबसे जो है powerful post किसकी है? Prime Minister की. He is the head of the Council of Ministers at the center. In fact, he is the spokesman and the leader of the entire nation. The country looks forward to the Prime Minister for efficient government. On the advice of the Prime Minister, the President appoints the members of the Union Cabinet. The Prime Minister is also the leader of the Lok Sabha, since the Lok Sabha is directly elected by the people. So it is the prerogative of the Prime Minister to recommend names for appointment to the Council of Ministers. So the President is bound to act on the advice of the Prime Ministers for appointment. So as well, dismissal of a minister. The Prime Minister is the supreme power, although the minister function under joint responsibility for all decisions taken by the government. So the minister can be moved from one ministry to another by the Prime Minister. In the Parliament, the Prime Minister gives support to all the ministers for actions taken by them in accordance with government decision. All main policy announcements on behalf of the Union government are made by the Prime Minister. So the schedule of the parliaments is formed in consultation with him. The Prime Minister generally takes part in all important debates in the Parliament and replies to the queries as well as criticism on behalf of the government. In fact, the Prime Minister is virtually the head of the government of India. The real powers of the President. The issue regarding the real powers of the President were discussed in detail in the Constituent Assembly that framed the Constitution of India. According to B.R. Ambedkar, the President is the head of state but not of the executive. He represents the country but does not rule the country. His place in the administration is that of a ceremonial device or a seal by which the decisions are made known. Participating in the discussion, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the President of the Assembly, observed, "We have had to reconcile the position of an elected President with an elected legislature, and in doing so, we have adopted more or less the position of the British monarch for the President of India." In this issue, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru said, "We did not give him any real power but have made his position one of great dignity and authority. Now we may examine the real powers of the President and the Prime Minister." There was an example on the eve of the 1951-52 general elections in India. President Rajendra Prasad sent his views to the Parliament. At that time, Nehru was the Prime Minister of India. The Hindu Code Bill was under discussion in the Parliament. Dr. Rajendra Prasad sent his message that personally he was opposed to passing of the bill, but if adopted by Parliament, he would give it his assent. The central government. The government in the center is called the union government. The president is the nominal head. The real power vests with the council of ministers headed by the prime minister. The administrative organization at the center differs from time to time. There are several departments of the central government. Relation between the union and the state government. Generally, there are two forms of constitutions in the world. A constitution may be unitary, in which all the authority is divided between the center and the state in accordance with the provision of the constitution. In India, the constitution has distributed the powers between the center and the states by putting them into three lists. Okay, so union list, it contains 97 items. Some of them are railway, currency, defense, foreign affairs, etc. Only the government of India is empowered to make law relating to subjects in the union lists. State list, it contains 47 items. Some of them are forest, agriculture, law and order, cattle, health, fisheries, etc. So the state government has the authority under the constitution to make law on these subjects. Concurrent list. It includes 47 items such as education, electricity, factories, etc. Both the parliament and the state legislative assemblies have power to make law on these subjects so far as the union territories are concerned. They are directly governed by the president. In case of emergency, the constitution provides that the union government can take away the power of the state. The government at the center has more power than the states. This is essential as the unity and security of the nation is primarily the responsibility of the union government. Thus, our constitution is a combination of the both unitary and federal forms. The secretary of a ministry, the head of the ministry, the minister, and he is assisted by the secretary, who is the administrative head of the ministry. He does the following functions. He is the chief advisor to the minister regarding policy and administration. He represents the ministry before parliamentary committees. He is accountable for the efficient working of the ministry. He generally receives weekly report from his subordinates. The secretary of a ministry is a very senior civil servant, mostly belonging to the Indian Administrative Service. In some ministries, a special secretary is also appointed to look after some special work. So the additional secretary provides additional help to the secretary. Next in hierarchy is the joint secretary. He is appointed in case there is an increase in pressure of work, difficulty in combining separate items of work, and presence of senior officers in the legislature when in session. Hierarchy in the ministry. Minister, secretary, additional secretary, joint secretary, under secretary, administrative officer, section officer, assistant, upper division clerk. Translating of felt need into law. Law are made to meet the demand of certain situations. Change is the law of nature. New situations arise or old situations need to be met effectively. New law or the therefore enacted and old law are amended or repeated. The Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006. Need for the Child Marriage Act. Child marriage in India have been one of the common evils. Such marriages prove very harmful to the health of the young children. Many social reformers have raised their voice against this social evil from time to time. Act prohibiting child marriage. A number of acts have been passed from time to time to check the child marriages. Age of Consent Act 1891. This act forbids the marriage of girls below the age of 12. The Sharda Act 1930. This act further increased the age of marriage and provided for penal action in marriage of boys under 18 and girls under 14 years of age. The Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006. The Government of India realized the grievance of the child marriage and ineffective implementation of the previous act. A bill called as the Prohibition of Child Marriage Bill 2006 was presented in both the houses of the parliament. The bill was passed by both the houses, having received the assent of the president on January 10, 2007. It became an act. According to the act, the minimum age of a male child for marriage is determined at 21 years and that of the female child at 18 years. Punishment. The act recommends rigorous punishment for 2 years and a fine up to 1 lakh rupees to the person who direct conduct or is connected in any manner with child marriage. Okay, so all the topics are covered here in this chapter. I hope you all are very well understand it and enjoyed it. So we will meet you the next class. Thank you.